Yeah, we're coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jetliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin yang, come along.
Welcome along to Indiana Sports Beat. Thanks a lot for joining us and taking us along wherever you're going, whatever you may be doing. Thanks a lot for taking Indiana Sports Beat along for the ride. Jim Coyle with you as always. Justin Kalen high atop the crew chief's box.
That's right.
We got a lots to get to today, of course, on the show. Don Fisher joins us as he always does. We'll talk to Drew Davis from Peaks.com. We'll get caught up on the IHSA match ups that went on over the weekend. Indiana basketball, of course, in action yesterday. We'll hear from that with a big win there. Softball, women's basketball, everything going on. We got lots to talk about. Before we get to it, let's get to the headlines with Justin.
All right, here are your Daily Hoosier headlines for this 11th day of March 2019, and absolutely a lot going on. Trace Jackson Davis and his Center Grove team, the regional win this weekend, 64-41 over Bloomington South. Trace Jackson Davis with 40 points and 13 rebounds. Indiana men's basketball finishes the regular season strong with an 89-73 win over Rutgers. Juwan Morgan led the way with 25 points and 7 rebounds. Actually started the game 10 for 10 on field goals. They will take on Ohio State Thursday at 12:30 in the Big Ten tournament. The winner of that game will move on to play Michigan State. Indiana women fall short in the Big Ten tournament as they turn towards the NCAA tournament now. Allie Patberg was named to the Big Ten Tourney All-Tournament team, first Indiana player to get that nod since 2006. And in non-basketball news, Steelers trade Antonio Brown to the Oakland Raiders for a 3rd and a 5th round pick. Those are your Daily Hoosier headlines for this March 11th, 2019. For more information, make sure to check out thedailyhoosier.com.
And welcome back. You got lots to get to, man. The women's team, they fell short, but they lost to Iowa, who won the Big Ten tournament.
Yep.
Top 10 team there, so no shame in their game. We'll wish them luck as the tournament draw is not. It's still a week away. Justin told me, which surprised me. I thought they'd get a week jump on it, but
next Monday.
Not into it. Trace Jackson Davis. How about that performance? 40 points in that win over Bloomington South, who I thought would win that regional. Yeah. I picked Bloomington South. I thought they were the stronger team. And, wow, that's a butt-kicking, man. That is a little surprising.
Yeah,
that is a butt-kicking.
I didn't get to watch the game, but from everything I heard, Trace Jackson Davis pretty much took over at the end of that one. Which 40 points.
At the end? Hell, 40 points. It sounds like it beginning, middle, and end.
1 point less than the whole team
this
for
Friday
South.
Makes the announcement of where he's going to be playing. Most people have switched to him going to Kentucky. I am not. I say he's going to go to Indiana still.
Sticking with it.
I'm sticking with it. I'll go down with it. That's okay. I think he's going to pick Indiana.
What are you basing that off of?
More playing time.
Yeah.
Tons more playing time. Probably start at Indiana. He's got at least one, if not 2 guys in front of him at Kentucky.
Yep. Well, Kentucky's still in the boat where you don't know who's leaving either, so a little sketchy.
Yep. Well, we'll certainly find out. I don't know that he's a one and done. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Spring football's going on. We'll hear from Tom Allen later. We'll hear from Archie Miller. We will hear from Juwan Morgan, Zach McRoberts, Evan Fitzner. As all of those spoke to the media yesterday. After Indiana's huge win over, well, it's not a huge win, but.
Oh, on the scoreboard, it was a huge win.
Well, yeah, in that regard, certainly. 89-73, but what a game by Juwan Morgan. I mean, as I was watching that unfold, I remember tweeting out, not that deep into the first half, that look out, Juwan Morgan may be going out on a big day, and boy did he. I mean, you talk about some phenomenal numbers. 11 of 13. 11 of 13. Do you know how many minutes he played?
22.
Well, you're supposed to say no, but I'll look and see.
No, but I'll look and see. Was it 22? I have no idea.
I already know how many. Yes, it is.
Is it? I had no idea. That was just a lucky guess.
Whatever. He only plays, because of foul trouble, he's limited to 22 minutes. But yet, he scored 25 points.
That's efficient.
11 of 13. 1 of 2 behind the three-point line. 2 of 2. He only got to the free throw line twice. They only called 2 fouls against him. Putting up all those shots, he only got fouled 2 times. But yet, he fouled 4 times. You know, he was plagued by foul problems.
Yeah.
But yet, nobody's fouling him. And I'll tell you right now, the officiating in that game, it was terrible. They were calling nicky-knack, ticky-tack crap that just busted the flow of the game. There was just 2 periods on both halves where it was just like the Dead Sea because of the officiating. They were horrible.
Yeah. Well, and I think that was extremely frustrating in that game yesterday because at the first 5-6 minutes of that game, they weren't calling anything.
It was rolling.
Yeah.
The game was rolling. Indiana was going to win by 40 points.
Absolutely.
If the officials didn't get a hold of that game, and that's exactly what happened. The officials handled that game. Because you're going to tell me Juwan Morgan, killing it down low, putting up 13 shots, gets fouled once? He shot 2 free throws?
Yeah.
Really? Are you kidding me? All that beating and banging going on with their big guys, and he gets fouled twice? Okay, whatever. That was a joke. The officiating was just horrifically a joke. Didn't matter. Indiana was blazing away. They shot 53% for the day. Now, you want to talk about efficient? 53.6% in the first half, 53.3% in the second half.
How about that?
Consistent. 16 of 30 in the second half, 15 of 28 in the first half. I mean, you talk about consistent. And they were as consistently bad behind the three-point line. 1 of 7 in the first half. 3 of 11 in the second half. Hey, we only went 1 of 7 in the first half. Let's jack up 11 more.
They hadn't even shot a 3 over halfway through the first half. They hadn't even taken one.
And they probably should have maintained that course of action.
Yeah.
They would have been a lot better off. They would have won this game by a lot bigger margin because they're shooting 53% from the field goal range, not three-pointers. Now, at the free throw line, they killed it. They shot 79% yesterday. But that's another reason. You know how many free throws? Let's see. 59 free throws were shot. Rutgers shot 30 free throws. Indiana shot 29.
Yeesh. Didn't seem like that many.
It was a horribly called game. It was terrible. The officiating just sucked.
Yeah, and you're far from the only one that I saw make that comment. There were a number of people on Twitter last night that were pretty upset with how that game was called.
Well, this is where it gets ridiculous to me. It had no effect on the game as far as Indiana winning or losing.
Right.
Now, it prevented them from winning big. But these officials, they need to be held under the same scrutiny as anybody else. They suck. Why are they out there? I'm sorry, sir, but you suck at your job.
Yeah.
You should not be here. Go do some high school games or something. But you're not a Big Ten official. Hell, I wouldn't want you doing a high school game. I don't think they know what the hell they're doing. They call what they think that they want to call.
Yeah.
they anticipate things that don't happen. They're horrible.
I saw you
Officiating
tweet.
has really gotten bad.
I saw you tweet out yesterday that officiating crew will not be in the NCAA tournament.
I said, yeah. I said, you're not going to see this crew at the Big Ten finals or the NCAA finals. They suck. They did. I mean, I don't bitch about officiating much. But it's not. It's just that they were just horrible. Period. They weren't horrible to a team. Look, Rutgers shot 30 times and Indiana 29, so they were consistently horrible. But they were horrible. Terrible. Indiana wasn't. They had leads of 23 points yesterday in the second half. They just did everything well.
Yep.
They won the battle in the paint. They got out-rebounded for one of the few times, but Rutgers does that, man. They got a 7-footer and a Shaquille Dorson. They're big guys.
How did the rebounding battle turn out? How much did Rutgers win by?
Not many. Let's see. Where are our rebounds? On this sheet? Holy cannoli. 37-33. And actually, to be truthful, and I remember seeing this happen, that differential, offensive rebounds, where Rutgers had 11 to Indiana 7, but I remember them getting a couple. I'm like, man, got to get that rebound. That was the difference. Those few offensive rebounds that Rutgers got was the difference in that battle. But another big thing, and I asked Archie in the post-game press conference actually about the turnovers. Dude, they have had 3 straight games of a half with just 2 turnovers in a half. 3 straight games they've done that. 3 straight games they've been in single digits in turnovers. This is shortly thereafter this team having 17 in a game. Archie said that was a big difference. Turnovers and rebounding. The probably 2 biggest things for this team's turnaround.
Yeah.
We'll have to pull that up. It's the last question of the press conference, I remember.
I got you here. You want to play it now?
Sure.
It's huge, that and rebounding. But I would say the turnovers in particular this week, when you look at our margin of victories in both games, that plays a huge role, not turning the ball over. Rob plays a big part of that. You know, when you have a point guard who plays 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes a game, and, you know, May had his first turnover, and I don't know how long, just today, but he controls things for us, and he's steady, and that helps us. It gives us some confidence that we know what we're doing, and the other guys aren't having to make as many crazy plays. You know, I think everyone feels good about the niche that they have. But the turnover has been great, but, you know, also the rebounding is so big in this next step. I mean, you have to rebound the ball, and I think today's the first time we got out-rebounded in our last 4, but, you know, we were there for the most part and gave up some second shots in the second half, and Rutgers is a very good rebounding team, but it wasn't minus 13 like it was the first time we played them. It was pretty even the whole way. So those are the 2 big things going into the tournament that you can control. You know, can't control how you shoot. You can't control who's injured, but you can control if you're rebounding and if you're not turning it over.
There you go. And they are not. They are rebounding, and they are not turning the ball over. The one thing that makes them, like yesterday's game, that would have been a battle with a good team. Not sure that beats a Michigan or someone like that, only because of the 3-point shooting. But you score 89 points, you're going to win most of the games you're in.
Yeah.
When you're shooting 53% and 80% from the free throw line, if they could get the 3-point shooting short up, my goodness, that's a top 5 team. This
I agree.
team with 3-point shooting is a top 5 team.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
I agree with that all day long. I was telling somebody yesterday, If they let this Indiana team in the NCAA tournament, or I don't know if they let them, but if Indiana plays their way in, I could see them making a Sweet 16 run, maybe even Elite 8. I mean, this is still a team that we've seen can play with just about anybody in the country on any given night. But
this team could be playing on Saturday in the Big Ten tournament.
Sure.
They have to win their first game, of course. They have to beat Ohio State. Ohio State's injury plague now. They lost
Caleb
one
Wesson,
of their best players. Yep. So that's going to obviously play in Indiana's favor. Then they win that game. Unfortunately, they have to play Michigan State. But guess what? They've beaten them twice. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that they could beat them yet a third time.
Hard to beat a team 3 times, though.
Hard to beat a team 3 times. That's the difficult thing. And Michigan State obviously playing well. They just beat Michigan to win a piece of the Big Ten title. But again, Indiana beat the Big Ten champion, swept them. The other one, they should have split with them. But Indiana heads now into the Big Ten tournament. They will play Thursday at 12:30. They will play the Ohio State Buckeyes. If they win that game, they play the next day against Michigan State, who received a bye. I actually have the schedule. We'll get to all that after we break. We've got a lot to get to today. Don Fisher's on the show. Drew Davis is on the show. Lots of Indiana basketball to talk about. We have Archie Miller and the players. Plenty more. Stay tuned. Indiana Sports Beat. Back right after this.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for it each and every day. Or, of course, on Big X Sports Radio, 1450, 96.1 WXVW in Southern Indiana, and 97.7 The Ref in Evansville.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become one in a million.
1 minute.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, you want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat. Thanks a lot for taking us along wherever you're going, whatever you may be doing. We appreciate you taking Indiana Sports Beat along for the ride here on this March 11th. It doesn't feel like March yet. It's getting there, I guess, but not quite there. Hey, make sure to hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367, like Joker has a couple times this morning. He said he would not be upset if the Lady Hoosiers missed the NCAA tournament and made a run at the NIT championship for 2 in a row. Much needed experience for a young team. Joker, no way,
Disagree,
man. I'm going to call you out on that one.
Yeah, I
That's
disagree.
A bad text.
Yeah.
One of the only ones ever, but that one's bad. No, you don't ever pass on the NCAA to go to the NIT. And this team is not as young as, I mean, they've got some young parts, but Ali Patberg, their leader, is a junior. And then the rest of their subset, a lot of sophomores and some freshmen thrown in. So they have some youth. The youth is definitely on their side, but they're ready, man. Ali Patberg is a player. You mentioned earlier she made the all-tournament team. First time in a minute.
13 years.
I think that she's just a better team leader. I think she's the best player on the team without hampering others. If that makes sense.
Tim texted in and said, I think he was joking.
Well, he also said the Reynolds Family Dentistry Player of the Game was Romeo with his over-the-head pass to Jawan for 3. I agree. It was a nice play there.
A lot of nice plays in that game yesterday.
Absolutely. What they have, let's see, 12 assists on 31 made baskets. Yeah, not as good as it has been, but that's okay. The ball movement was very good, especially early yesterday. Man, the player movement, the ball movement, it was all really good until the officials got into the game. Once they started blowing that whistle, it was really maddening. Yesterday was maddening more so than most, and you could tell with nearly 60 free throws shot. That's too dang many fouls. Yeah. That game was and it was the officials. It was not the players. It was the officials. They were calling ticky-tack crap. And then they would not call anything. You're going to tell me Juwan Morgan puts up 13 shots and he gets fouled one time? Give me a break.
No. It was extremely inconsistent yesterday, to say the least.
Oh, they're just terrible. Yeah. I wish their names were on here. I'd call them out. Oh, speak of the devil. Looky here. Keith Kimball. Bill Eck. Earl Walton. Well, 2 of you suck. I don't know which one. I know who you are by face, but I don't know by name. But 2 of you guys suck. You're just terrible. They shouldn't be playing. They should not be officiating. Really. They should not be officiating in the Big Ten. That is just substandard.
Yeah. Makes you wonder how these guys are held accountable.
They're not.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem.
I mean, you would think they've got to be at in some way from somebody.
Well, you would think, but then you see the product, and I think otherwise.
It's true.
Make sure you like or follow us on Facebook. You can follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Apple Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play. Find it live or anytime on thedailyhoosier.com, indianasportsbeat.com, or at thegruelingtruth.net. You can give our friends Steve Risley and Colin Hartman a listen at The Grueling Truth as well. They do their post-game shows.
Tim texted in the show once more, asks if there were any recruits at the game last night. Maybe Brooks. I know Armand Franklin was there.
As was Christian Lander.
Yep, Lander too. I saw that.
I didn't know that until afterwards. I wish I would have said hey to him, but no Keon Brooks to my knowledge.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Which is kind of not a good sign. He hasn't spent any time in Indiana. Other than his visit, I guess.
Well, I think he's been down a number of times on an unofficial visit.
This year?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall that, but that's not a good sign, I'll be honest with you.
See, I didn't read too much into it. I mean, it's the last game of the year. He didn't have an opportunity to go to North Carolina or Kentucky
I'm not
this
talking about
weekend
tomorrow, just yesterday, rather. I'm talking about overall.
Yeah.
But, of course, they have their own season to play.
I definitely don't feel as comfortable with it as I did a couple months ago, I'll tell you that.
No, I'm sticking with my pick, but we'll see. But if he doesn't, they got to fill that void, man.
Yeah.
That would be a big swing and a miss for Archie if he doesn't land him. Let us know what your thoughts are. 812-269-6367. Hit us up on the text line. Talk about whatever you'd like. The game yesterday was big for Indiana now as they head into the Big Ten tournament. In my mind, they have to win. They have to win one game. That's no question there.
Can they get away with winning one game and being competitive in the second?
That's all they have to do. There's no way, because their second game will be against Michigan State.
Right.
There's no way that they can count against Indiana losing to them in a third game after having beaten them twice, with Michigan State being the Big Ten champion.
I would love to hear Izzo, though, if it were to happen.
He'd say that I don't want to play Indiana in the NCAA tournament.
Or in the regular season next year.
There's a lot of teams that don't want to play Indiana in the NCAA tournament.
Right.
Indiana's going to be a dangerous team. They're playing with house money. A lot of people think that they weren't supposed to be there.
When Juwan Morgan was actually asked after the game yesterday how this team is thriving heading into the Big Ten tournament, let's hear what he had to say.
I think it's just, it's just on us. Everything we want is in front of us, and we just have to take it one day at a time, one game at a time. We're focused on getting better from today and then taking that into tomorrow and so forth into the Big Ten tournament. And I think all the guys, they're not really taking any days lightly. Any day could be the last day. We never know. And so that's exactly how we're playing.
Summed it up quite nicely.
Yeah.
It was Juwan Morgan post-game talking about their mindset as they head in to tournament play. And this is a dangerous team because they're playing with house money, like I said, but they're playing with confidence.
Yeah.
They've got nothing to lose, man.
Confident house money can be a dangerous thing.
Oh, you got nothing to lose. Other than not playing in the tournament.
Right.
But, I mean, once they're there, man, they're playing on house money. They got nothing to lose. They can let it roll. And if they can continue to play like they have been, they're extraordinarily dangerous. And the only thing that keeps them from being really dangerous is a three-point shot. When that's going, forget it. If the three-point shot is going for Indiana, they're almost unbeatable.
Agreed.
Their inside game is pretty talented. So if you've got the inside out going, it's over. And you got Romeo slashing and gashing the defense. It's like yesterday. Look at Romeo's output. Look at his stat sheet, how he scored. He was only 5 of 12 from the field. 2 of 4 behind the arc. But guess what? He had 8 of 10 free throws.
That's big.
He went to the free throw line 10 times.
Well, and 23 out of 29 from the free throw line for Indiana yesterday. That's certainly one of the better numbers they've put up all year from the free throw line.
And that's the kind of numbers you have to put up.
Yeah.
You can't go to the free throw line that many times and not take advantage of that. "29 free throws. That's a lot of point opportunities, man.
Sure. Yeah, Tim texted in, said a good offensive output in the last few games. Absolutely.
Absolutely, it is. Everything has changed, but also the defense has been decent.
Yeah.
Romeo played good defense again.
Yep. I've almost gotten to the point where I've grown accustomed to that at this point.
But Rutgers didn't play horrible either. They shot 45%. They were no, I'm sorry, they shot 43% for the game. Still not bad.
No.
That's well within the acceptable range. Now, they weren't very good from three-point land either, 4 of 14 for 28%. Better than Indiana's 4 of 18.
Yep.
They were 23 of 30 at the free throw line, 76%, so that's not a bad run. They didn't play. Indiana just hit more baskets. Indiana hit 8 more baskets. They hit more free throws.
It's a good recipe for a win.
Actually, they did not hit more free throws.
Rutgers hit more than 23 free throws?
No, they hit 23.
Jeez.
"46 made free throws in that game yesterday. Way too many free throw shot.
Yeah.
Hey, hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. We've got to take a break. Plenty more to talk about. On the program today, Don Fisher, the voice of the Hoosiers, joins us. Drew Davis from Peegs.com. We'll hear from Archie Miller. Plenty more Indiana Sports Beat back right after this.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with the Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for each and every day. Or, of course, on Big X Sports Radio, 1450, 96.1 WXVW in Southern Indiana, and 97.7 The Ref in Evansville.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
This hour is brought to you by Sweetland Waste and Removal Service, a homegrown company serving Southern Indiana since 1995.
How bizarre. Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat. Thanks a lot for joining us here on this Monday, March 11th. Don Fisher's on the show today. We'll hear from Don in the next hour. Drew Davis from Pigs.com joins us as well. We'll hear from Archie Miller and some of the players' reaction yesterday's win by Indiana over Rutgers as they head into the Big Ten tournament, which starts Wednesday. Before I get to that, I want to mention quick Jordan Hulls, former Hoosier great. They had a baby boy over in Germany, I think. Leo Andrew Hulls, born March 9th, 2019.
Trying to field a basketball team, number 2 already.
Backcourt, starting backcourt at least.
If they shoot like daddy, they'll be all right.
Absolutely. The Big Ten tournament starts Wednesday. Indiana, of course, playing Thursdays. They get a first-round bye. But those first-round games at the United Center in Chicago. Game 1 features Rutgers and Nebraska. team Indiana played yesterday, and a team that started Indiana's slide, Nebraska, that has just fallen off the charts, man.
Sheesh.
I mean, you talk about a team that's in free fall. Bye-bye. Tim Miles, I think he's in trouble.
I would agree with that.
That game's at 6:30 on the Big Ten Network. The second game follows at 9 o'clock. Illinois, Northwestern. So the two games that you just can't wait to see in the Big Ten tournament coming up Wednesday. Riveting television.
Two bad games there.
I hope those stupid referees from yesterday are in either of those games. There will be 80 fouls. The second round, which is Thursday, March 14th, Game 3, that's where you'll find the Indiana Hoosiers seeded number 9, as they'll be taking on number 8 Ohio State at 12:30 on the Big Ten Network. All these games are on the Big Ten Network. That game is followed by Maryland playing the winner of Game 1. That game is followed by Minnesota and Penn State.
Another horrible game.
Minnesota's number 7.
Surprisingly.
Wow. And then you got Iowa and the Game 2 winner. So I was kind of hoping Indiana would play Iowa again.
Yeah.
I want another shot at that. I'd like to see them. Iowa's not beaten Indiana 3 times.
No.
I would much rather Indiana play a team that's beaten them twice than play a team that Indiana's already beaten twice, like Michigan State.
And that's what I was going to bring up. Indiana would, you say Iowa wouldn't beat Indiana twice. A lot of people, majority of people, I would say Indiana's probably not going to beat Michigan State 3 times.
And it very well could be true. I mean, it's tough to do. That's why. The quarterfinals are on Friday. And that's where Michigan State will play the winner of Game 3 of the Indiana game. That's at 12:30 also. So if they make it to Friday, they play at 12:30 again.
Getting comfortable in that noon spot.
And then Game 8 is Wisconsin versus Game 4 winner. Who's back on Game 4? Oh, Maryland versus Game 1. So we don't know. But Indiana can win these games. That's the thing. There's not a team there Indiana can't beat. So this team could easily be playing on Saturday.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the only team that they have not shown that they can beat so far this year, to me, is Michigan.
Yeah. And they wouldn't see them till a championship on Sunday. So
it is not out of the question that this team, as crazy as it has been for them, could wind up playing on Sunday in the Big Ten tournament. Something they've only done once in the history of the Big Ten tournament. Not predicting it, but I'm just saying it's not out of the question.
Yeah.
Name me a team that just Indiana can't play with it. There's not one. They beat the Big Ten champion. They swept them. Michigan State. They should have split with Purdue. Would not be surprised to see this team playing on Sunday. Wouldn't be surprised to see them lose on Friday.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out.
I don't
Evan
I don't see them losing to Ohio State. Ohio State's hurt, so.
Yeah. Evan Fitzner was actually asked about the Big Ten tournament after the game yesterday and what it's going to take for Indiana to win it.
I think at this point it's toughness. You know, every team kind of knows what every other team's running. Everybody's good in this league. I think one of the things it comes down to is toughness in your approach every day as a collective unit. You can't have two guys that are not totally bought in. And I think this group's done a great job of that. You know, everybody, the walk-ons, the freshmen, the whole team everyone's bought in right now. And you know, I think we're a dangerous team right now for sure.
Evan Fitzner talking about moving forward. And this team is doing so with confidence, man.
Dangerous way to play.
They're not a team. Yes, they're not a team. I don't think anybody wants to play this team in the Big Ten tournament. Dan Dockage yesterday called them the best team in the Big Ten at this moment.
How about that? Guy who's been so rough on Indiana this year comes out and says that yesterday.
I don't care. I mean, I don't have a problem with Dan.
Right.
But
a lot of Indiana fans do.
But what he says doesn't sway me much either.
Right.
I'm not going to say they're the best team in the Big Ten right now. I'm not going to say they're better than Michigan. But they're one of the best teams in the Big Ten. You could say they're the hottest team in the Big Ten right at this moment.
Yeah. That's a fact.
For damn sure.
And isn't it funny that we're sitting here talking about Michigan and when Purdue and Michigan State tied for the Big Ten championship and Indiana's worried about Michigan because it's all about matchups. We've seen that this year. Indiana can play with Michigan State. They can play with Purdue. They beat Wisconsin. They've played with Maryland. Those are the top 5 teams in the Big Ten. The only one that they haven't been competitive with is Michigan.
And I'd like to see that. I'm not saying they would beat them. Michigan is about matchups. I think they match up really, really well against Indiana.
Agreed.
You know, and I was talking about Indiana should have split with Purdue. They were code Big Ten champions. They're 24th that they're bragging about, which they should. But as Jay pointed out on the text line, still done early each March.
It's true.
I was thinking yesterday, they have got to be. There's no team that has won 24 conference titles and not a single national championship. 2 Final Fours in their basketball history of over 100 years. 24 Big Ten titles, but they can't get to the damn Final Four. They haven't been there since 1980. That's when they were in the Final Four last. Only their second trip, by the way. 1980, Joe Barry Carroll and that group. Before that, it was in the 1600s or something. Their only other trip, they used rocks for basketballs then.
Still playing with the peach basket.
That is amazing to me. Purdue can win 24 conference titles, but they can't do jack nationally.
Gotta love it.
It's just mesmerizing.
Tim Tex then says Dan's just sour because he could not coach IU.
A lot of people think that.
Yeah. And then also got a text in from Joker, says Romeo might be enjoying college enough to return for a second year.
Who said that?
Joker.
Joker, you are incorrect.
Again.
On that one. Man, you're having a bad day, Joker.
It's Monday. It's Monday.
He also said 12 of those Purdue championships came before 1940. Yeah, a lot of stuff for Purdue came before 1940.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff came in the 20s. Back when basketball was first invented, and they had a guy named what was his name? I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. You don't know who I'm talking about?
I missed it. I was reading a text. Sorry.
I said we're talking about a lot of Purdue's exploits happened back in the 20s, in the teens, because they had a player there back then. Well, one of the reasons they had a pretty famous player there. Went on to coach at UCLA. You don't know who I'm talking about?
John Wooden?
That would be him.
I didn't
give the boy a cookie.
Didn't realize he played at Purdue.
He did.
How about that? Learn something every day.
Yes. Yes, you do if you hang out with me.
Oh, and Joker did not say that Romeo is enjoying college enough to return for his second year. He said, could Romeo be enjoying college enough for a second year?
No.
Well, he brought up the point, and you were at the game, so I know you probably didn't see it, but on TV, when it saw the team coming out of the tunnel, Romeo was goofing around with Quentin Taylor. He grabbed onto the back of his head. Quentin Taylor turned around and smiled. Then you saw Romeo and Rob Finney joking with each other. They were smiling. The team yesterday as a whole, it wasn't just before the game, but during the game as well, a lot of smiles. It's been a while since I've seen that many smiles out of an Indiana team during a game.
Well, they weren't playing like that. That's part of the difference, part of the transformation.
Yeah. They're back to having fun, playing the game that they love again.
I don't know that they ever were having fun yet. I don't know that they got to that point.
Yeah.
But they definitely are now. And doing it quite well. Hey, thanks a lot for the text, by the way. Joker as well. He's one of our best. Giving him a little guff today, just messing.
Y'all should strive to be like Joker.
That's right. 812-269-6367. You can like or follow us on Facebook. Follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Apple Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, IndianaSportsBeat.com, TheDailyHoosier.com, or TheGruelingTruth.net. Hit us up with your questions or comments. IHSA action. We talked earlier about Trayce Jackson-Davis. Man, what a performance he had. 40 points. He almost outscores the entire Bloomington South team. This is a good team here. We're not talking about some Joe Schmo team. Bloomington South, I thought they were going to win that regional.
They've got the all-time winningest coach in Indiana boys basketball history.
Yeah, they didn't win. They don't win by accident.
Yeah.
But what a performance. 40 points, man. That's big. As a matter of fact, I'm here at the Graduate Hotel in Bloomington, and one of the young ladies that works here said, I heard you talking about Trayce Jackson. I went to school with him.
Nice.
You know, they haven't been to the semi-state since, I don't know, like 1947 or something. I have to look that up. It's been a long, long, long time. Maybe since the 70s, I don't know. It's 40s. It's been 40 years or something. It's been a long time, like crazy long time, which surprises me. Center Grove's a big school.
Yeah.
But they play in a tough area, tough area, man.
Yeah. They're more of a football school, but yeah, certainly congrats out to the basketball team. Trayce Jackson-Davis, 60 points, 30 rebounds in their 2 games this weekend. You think that'll help Indiana next year?
You think that he made the all-tournament team?
Absolutely. No question.
Big performance. Yeah. Lots of other performances as well. We'll talk to Drew Davis in the next hour about that. See who's doing what, who's going where. As the Big Ten tournament gets underway on Wednesday as well. So the IHSA is in the semi-state round this weekend. Silver Creek. It's a big win for Silver Creek, the Dragons.
Yep. Trey Kaufman, an IU recruit.
Is he an IU recruit?
IU's recruiting him, yeah.
They are?
Yep. He's Trey Kaufman's getting recruited by everybody. He's kind of like the Christian Lander of the Southern Indiana.
Christian Lander's a 5-star.
Yeah. Well, Trey Kaufman, I don't know what he is yet. He's probably a 4-star. He could get up to 5.
Well, it could be, would be. We're talking is.
I mean, they're just sophomores. So let's pump the brakes a little bit.
I understand. I don't think that I don't think those guys are rated yet, are they, other than the top 15?
I'll have to look.
Have to pull that up on 247. See who's where. Hey, we got a lot more coming up on the show. Don Fisher joins us in the next hour. Drew Davis joins us as well. We're going to hear from Archie Miller. We'll hear from Juwan Morgan. Zach McRoberts. Haven't heard from him yet, have we?
We have not. He didn't say a whole lot in that post-game conference yesterday.
Who you got quick?
I mean, I could play Zach McRoberts
fired off.
Talking about wearing the IU jersey and what that means to him. Let me get to the point where he starts talking about it here. All right.
You put this jersey on, I know what it means. I think you're from here, you kind of understand, you grow up hearing about Indiana basketball. Everybody's either loves them or hates them, but I think it's just so special being able to play here, being able to play in Assembly Hall, being from here. Just hold a special place in my heart for it.
Zach McRoberts talking on Senior Day. We've got lots more coming up on the program. Don Fisher joins us. Drew Davis joins us. We'll hear from Archie Miller, talk about the IHSA. We got a lot more to talk about. Stay tuned. Indiana Sports Beat back right after this.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with the Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for it each and every day. Or, of course, on Big X Sports Radio, 1450, 96.1 WXVW in Southern Indiana, and 97.7 The Ref in Evansville.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Well, we're coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jetliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin-yang, come along.
Well, come on along, and thanks a lot for joining us and taking it in a sports beat along with a ride for you today. Jim Coyle with you as always. Justin Kalen high atop the Crew Chiefs box.
That's right.
Thanks a lot for taking us along wherever you're going, whatever you may be doing. We appreciate you taking Indiana Sports Beat along for the ride. We've got a lot to get to today on the program. Don Fisher joins us. We'll talk to Drew Davis. about IHSA action. Indiana basketball, of course, a big win yesterday as they complete the regular season with a win over Rutgers. Women's basketball in action. The Big Ten tournament starts. We got a lot to talk about. Before we get to it all, let's get to the headlines with Justin.
All right, here are a look at your daily Hoosier headlines for this 11th day of March 2019. As Trace Jackson Davis and Center Grove with a regional win this weekend, 64-41 over Bloomington South. Trace Jackson Davis with 40 points and 13 rebounds. Indiana men's basketball finishes the regular season strong with an 89-73 win over Rutgers yesterday. Juwan Morgan led the way with 25 points, 7 rebounds, and actually started the game 10 of 10 shooting from field goal range. They will take on Ohio State Thursday at 12:30. The winner of that game will play Michigan State in the Big Ten tournament. Indiana women fall short in the Big Ten tournament themselves as they turn towards the NCAA tournament now. Allie Patberg named to the Big Ten All-Tournament team, first Indiana player to get that honor since 2006. And in non-basketball news, the Steelers trade Antonio Brown to the Oakland Raiders for a 2nd and a 5th-round pick. Those are a look at your daily Hoosier headlines for this 11th day of March 2019. For more information, make sure to check out thedailyhoosier.com.
And welcome back. Got a lot to talk about today, like I said. Don Fisher's on the show with us. We'll talk some IU basketball, of course, and a big win by them yesterday as they complete the regular season on a 4-game winning streak. Much better than losing 12 out of 13.
For sure.
Great way to finish the season as they head into the Big Ten tournament now. They get a bye on Wednesday. They have the number 9 seed, and they'll play number 8, Ohio State, at 12:30. On the Big Ten Network. Of course, you can hear that game right here at 12:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 Central. Pregame starts an hour before, but Thursday and then Friday, if they win Thursday, if they beat Ohio State, they will take on Michigan State for the 3rd time, also at 12:30, also on the Big Ten Network, also right here on this station. You don't have to go anywhere.
Come on.
Keep it tuned right here. 12:30 Eastern both days, 11:30 Central. We'll have Don Fisher on the show today. We'll talk about it. Of course, tonight, Archie Miller Radio's on. It's Monday night, so you got Don and Archie. Also, you can catch that right here. That starts at 7 o'clock Eastern or 6 Central. Man, you don't have to go anywhere. Just keep it tuned right here.
That's their last show of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it? Probably, since the tournament's starting. Yeah. So you have to keep tuned to us after that to keep informed. IHSA action. You heard Justin mention Trace Jackson. Huge game. Big weekend. 40 points as Center Grove knocks off Bloomington South at the Seymour Regional. I thought that I thought Bloomington South would win that, but man, they got crushed. Yeah. Trace Jackson just being a man.
Yeah, I want to say they won the first game 64-41 too. I think they might have had the same score twice. Pretty cool.
I don't remember. They played Jasper, right?
They did, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to be much, but Indiana women's basketball, they lose in the Big Ten tournament to Iowa, who would go on to win the Big Ten tournament. A top 10 team. No shame in that game. I expect Indiana's name to be called for the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. That'll be
Allie Patberg and Coach Terry Morin. They had a tremendous season. Congratulations to them. A tremendous year for them. I fully expect to see them in the NCAA tournament, and I think most people do. I don't think that this is going to be a shock. The only shock would be for them not to be there.
Yeah, agreed. And that selection show, by the way, next Monday night.
Yeah, I was surprised. Justin corrected. I thought that since they're done, their conference tournament's done, but they wait the week. It's weird. I'm like, okay. They would have more attention to themselves, but I guess maybe not with the conference tournaments all going on.
Yeah.
But they play on the off days. They play on like the Mondays and Tuesdays, I think.
Right, yeah.
So we have basketball every day. Still.
Great time of the year.
Hey, hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. thoughts, comments, questions, either about anything or for Don Fisher or for Drew Davis. Archie Miller met with the media yesterday after the win. They had a lot of good things to say.
Yeah, he talked about getting comfortable within the Big Ten tournament starting this week, so I wanted to play that. Let's hear what he had to say.
We're going to have to win. We're going to have to win not one game, not two games. We're going to have to try and win as many games as we can. And that's how you control your own deal. And that's pretty much what we focused in on right now. It's not about the tournament. It's not about the NCAA tournament right now. There isn't anybody putting you in until the thing is over. So for us, can we get better? Can we be the same team we've been the last 3 weeks? Is anyone going to take their focus off? Are we going to lose somebody to, lackadaisical? Just, do we get distracted? There's a huge thing about teams when they're in a good rhythm, distractions, and now talking about other things. We haven't been able to talk about anything but survival, for a long time. And that's sort of why we're here, is because we've kind of said there isn't really anything other than to just do it. We have to do it the right way, and we have a good attitude right now. So take that to Chicago. We'll feel good about it.
That's right. Take that, Chicago, baby. You got to save that line. That's a clip right there. Take that to Chicago. I love it. That's going to be my new response. Take that to Chicago. Text line's open, 812-269-6367. Let us know what your thoughts or comments are. Questions for Don Fisher or Drew Davis. Also meeting with the media yesterday, Juwan Morgan. And spring football's going on, too, before I forget. I have to look to see if practices today or tomorrow right now.
Got to get over there.
I'm kind of off schedule. There's so much going on, dude. Yesterday, Indiana softball was playing. Baseball played. Men's basketball played. You got spring football going on. Women's basketball. It's just everything. It's just like whoop, boop, boom, boom.
Softball
It's
now
everywhere.
up to 21-3. Hell of a season for them.
You think? What are they? Are they ranked yet?
Yeah, they've been ranked. I think
What are they ranked?
I think their new top 25 comes out today.
Well,
I think they're 16.
It's too low.
Agreed.
It's too low. Where do you think Indiana's going to end up as the tournament seed? There's a question for you, folks.
You're turning to that.
I'm talking about the NCAA tournament. You could call it putting the cart before the horse, but why would you not? Are you going to plan on losing?
It's true.
No, you plan on winning. I fully expect to see Indiana in the NCAA tournament. And here's the thing. If they can win 2 games, if they end up playing on Saturday, they could win Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's say what's the best case scenario for Indiana seed-wise in the NCAA tournament? If they were able to get to Sunday in the Big Ten, which would mean playing for the championship, I think that they could get as high as a 7 seed.
Oof. I was thinking more in the 8 or 9 range.
Well, that's probably more realistic. I'm just saying, if they could get to Sunday and they're playing in the Big Ten championship game, that is going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Because number 2, that would be a 7-game winning streak they would be riding and playing for the Big Ten championship.
Now, if they were to go into Chicago this week and win the Big Ten tournament, I could see a 7, possibly even a 6 seed. I think it all really just depends on, if they do get to the championship, how competitive that game is.
Joker says, how about a 15 seed against Puke, UK?
I don't think Power 5 schools can go as low as 15.
Really?
I don't think so.
Is that a rule? That's something I did not know.
I want to, every year, if you look at the bracket, there's no Power 5s.
It's not that they can't.
Right.
It's just because I think there are enough, more than enough fluff teams that get in the tournament from a nondescript conference that many people have not heard of.
Yeah, I mean, typically, I feel
they fill those slots. The 16 slots are all filled by the play-ins, basically. And then you've got, I mean, there's about 12 conferences that easily fill those spots down below. Right. The 16, 15, 14, 13.
Yeah, that
only takes 16 teams.
And that's
12 teams for the 3 lowest seeds.
And that's my point, is the fact that you don't really see a lot of Power 5 schools lower than, say, a 12 seed. For that very reason.
Yeah, but I'd sure like to see him in that region with Kentucky. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would.
That would be awesome. Trying to figure out if Kentucky, right now Kentucky's a number 1 seed.
There's an argument to be made.
Well, I don't think that they are. I'm just saying. Yeah. They also have to go through the SEC tournament. They have to win the SEC tournament to be a number 1 seed. But the worst that they're going to be is a 2 seed. And that's where I see them ending up. But I don't know. You've got the LSU fiasco of the SEC. The SEC champion, SEC Bengal Tigers, for a title that they're going to have to relinquish. I don't know that there's ever in college basketball been a title won that you already know before you win the title that you're going to have to relinquish it. That everybody knows it.
It's pretty wild.
The coach is suspended. The player is being kept out. Yet they won the SEC championship.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Who else was involved? Auburn. Oh, yeah. SEC trying to be big-time basketball, but they're cheating to do it.
Auburn smoked Tennessee this weekend.
Saw that. Tennessee's been on a snide, man. They've lost a couple.
Yep.
They beat Kentucky at home, but yeah, it all depends on what happens in the SEC tournament. Who wins that as far as Kentucky being a number 1 or a number 2 seed? But you can still get placed into the region to where you'd have to win a game. You'd have to win 1 game to get to Kentucky, but yeah, if they were like a 9 seed, wouldn't their second game be against the number 2?
I'll have to pull up a bracket and look.
So it wouldn't take much for that to happen. I can see them ending up in an 8-9 game.
Actually, I think the 8-9s play the 1.
Ah. So you got to be the 7-12. They're not going to. Well, I think they're going to be too good for a 12.
Yeah.
And they're not going to, and they cannot get to a 7.
Unless they compete in the Big Ten championship.
Competes ass. I don't think they'd have to win the Big Ten to get to a 7. I don't know that winning the Big Ten gets them to a 7.
Maybe not.
That's a huge jump. I mean, that's the top 28. That's just a big jump. I'm not saying that they're not better than some of those teams right now, but that's just a huge jump, and I'm just not sure that that's going to happen.
I'd agree with that.
Shout out to Jordan Hulls, former Hoosier. Had a nice baby boy. Where is that? I had that pulled up. All the info on that.
Well, while you look for that, let me play some Juwan Morgan sound talking about his final game in Assembly Hall. We'd be remiss if we didn't play this here today. Final game in Assembly Hall. He was asked in the post conference if it could have been better.
So, just coming out with the win, I think it was as good as it could have been, just going out the last time on this court in front of all these fans.
And I thought it was longer than that.
Well, I'll tell you, that question that he was asked, could it have been better with the performance that he had?
Right, yeah.
Because, no, my God, what a monster performance he put on yesterday.
He got a nice laugh out of that question.
11 of 13 from the field. And even though he put up 13 shots in a game that had 60 free throws, he only shoots 2. Yep. Juwan Morgan only got fouled 1 time in all that.
Ludicrous.
Crap. Yeah, it's ridiculously stupid. 25 points. What a great day. 7 rebounds. 11 of 13 shooting. 2 of 2 at the free throw line. 1 of 2 behind the arc. He missed 1 shot all day.
2.
No, he missed 2 shots, rather. All day. But he was, 9 of 9?
10 of 10 to start.
10 of 10? Yeah. Started 10 of 10.
Didn't miss his first shot until 3 minutes left in the game. I was pulling for him. He had the best shooting day in Assembly Hall history until that point.
It would have been.
Yep.
He should have stopped.
Exactly.
If he'd have known that, somebody should have said, don't shoot anymore. Seriously. If he would have known, I'd have said, I'm not taking another shot.
Yeah. That'd have been a cool way to go out on senior day.
Unless I had a layup. Can you imagine missing a layup for that?
Well, his first miss was a layup. I mean, it was defended well, but that was
I thought his first miss was a missed three-pointer.
No, that was his second miss. The first miss was the one he had at the basket and kind of wildly turned around, threw it up. He was well defended, but probably should have never taken the shot.
Yeah, what a shame. I wish he hadn't done that. That would have been great for him. And you talk about he ends up being one of the greatest Hoosiers, number-wise, of all time.
Yeah.
He's in the top 30 scoring. He's in the top 15 of rebounds, I think. It's just all kinds of incredible numbers for a guy that wasn't a big-time Herald recruit. I mean, Crean found him out in Missouri. I'm not sure if he was looking at him and he found OG. Yeah. I think that's how it went because OG was not even on the daggone roster at that workout point. At that deal, I remember. Yeah. Joker said Juwan was fouled twice. Both were 1-and-1s.
And ones, yeah.
So he missed one of the free throws is what he did. At least, or either that or he missed the second one.
No, I think he meant and ones. I think they were both and ones. Not 1-and-1s. Almost positive. But we got to get to a break.
Yeah, we got to get to a break. Got a lot more coming up. Drew Davis is on the show today. Don Fisher as well. Stay tuned. Indiana Sports Beat's back with more right after this.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for it each and every day. Or, of course, on Big X Sports Radio, 1450, 96.1 WXVW in Southern Indiana, and 97.7 The Ref in Evansville.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become one in a million.
Today's guest is brought to you
All
by
right,
Reynolds
crew,
Family
let's get
Dentistry
it
of
done.
Salisbury. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's
Honey, want to
exactly
give me a
what you'll
hand?
get
I'm
with
planting
Reynolds
that
Family
tree,
Dentistry.
remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may
Hey,
be,
welcome back
no
to
matter
the
how urban or rural, you must
Jim Coyle
always
with you as
call
always.
811
Justin Galen,
before
Hot Top
any
Crew
digging
Chief
project.
That's right.
811 is our
Joined now
national
by our
one-call
good
number,
friend Drew
alerting
Davis
your
of
local
Dig.com.
utility
Drew,
companies
how
to
are
come
you,
out and
sir?
mark any lines they have near your dig site.
good, man.
You
What
must
about
call 811
Great,
at least
lots
2
of
to
action
3
this
business
weekend,
days
man.
before
Lots
any
of
digging
basketball
project.
going on, whether it was in Indiana high school basketball tournament action, the Indiana Hoosiers also in action yesterday. A big win for them. Big win for Indiana in the fact that they're now on a 4-game winning streak as they head into the Big Ten tournament. Momentum, confidence, they got a lot of things on their side right now.
Yeah, Indiana's definitely playing their best basketball of the season at the right time. And I think that's what one of the things that you asked for at the beginning of the season is to be playing your best basketball down the stretch. And Indiana's put themselves in that position. And now they, it's been survival the last, few weeks, as Archie Miller said. And, these games are turning into start to be, so-called play-in games, and you get Ohio State on Thursday, and that the winner of that game's probably in the tournament, and the loser, it's going to be real hard for them.
Absolutely. I mean, this team, I think you'd have to have a commission a study to find out what really went on with this team this year. Obviously, the biggest factor were the injuries, without doubt. But that was not the only thing, because during that period of bleak and wilderness that they were in, there was just some bad play. They weren't playing well. They weren't defending well. They weren't doing anything well. So the injuries were the biggest part, no doubt. But there were some other things that went on that led into it. All that gone now. They're playing extraordinarily well. They're playing together. They're moving the ball. They're moving themselves. Romeo is moving without the ball. Their 2-point shooting percentage is back to being high again, 50% the last couple games. They're not turning the ball over. That is what is amazing. They've gone from having 17 turnovers in a game to having 2 turnovers and a half for 3 straight games. That's incredible.
Yeah, I know, and I think the crazy part is the fact that they've done it for 3 straight games, and the fact that the number is so low. I at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have thought it would be this low at this point in time. And you see a guy like Devontae Green, who's played, I want to say, his last 71 minutes in 3 games, and he's had outings of I think it was like 13, 10, and 16 points. And he's dished out 10 assists while only recording 2 turnovers. And, for Devontae, you never really would have thought that he'd have a 10-to-2 turnover or assist-to-turnover ratio in last 71 minutes of action.
Yep, big day for Indiana. They head into the Big Ten tournament now. They play on Thursday, as I said, 12:30. They'll take on Ohio State. If they win, they get the great chance of playing Michigan State for the third time the following day. But we'll follow all that action. Also, this weekend, Indiana High School tournament underway. Lots of big games, of course, at the Seymour Regional. You had Bloomington South. I thought was going to be the favorite to win that. And man, oh man, did Trace Jackson Davis and Center Grove put an ass whipping on them.
Yeah, Trace really stepped up on Saturday. He had a double against Jasper, 20+ points at the semifinal, and kind of stuffed it his own knockout punch in the third quarter, and got a sit for the final 10 minutes of that game. And then against Bloomington South, he came out like a man on a mission, and he had like 40 points and 10 plus rebounds, and just completely dominated the game in every phase. And Trace is starting to really play some really good basketball right now. He's turning it up a notch. He knows the stakes on these games, and it's certainly showing for him.
Now Saturday, Center Grove will take on whom?
They will take on DeJuan Jones and Jalen Wyndham and Ben Davis.
No way! Oh man, what a matchup! My man DeJuan Jones. I got to be his biggest fan. I just love the way this dude plays. Big old football player, and is just dominant on the basketball court.
Oh yes, DeJuan Jones has been leading Ben Davis. Yeah, he's for being a guy his size at 6'9", and he just moves so gracefully. He kind of is just smooth and skilled, and it's very rare that you find somebody of that size that can do the things DeJuan does. And I think the DeJuan Trace matchup is going to be a very, very exciting matchup. It kind of DeJuan's going to check Trace and so on, and I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Wow, that's a matchup of epic proportions. Trace Jackson Davis is a big guy, but not when you talk about DeJuan Jones big. I mean, this guy is huge, big football player, solid mass. That's going to be a tough job for Trace Jackson. That's going to be a hell of a matchup.
Yeah, it is. And the regular season, they played Ben Davis, and they were able to beat him by, I think, 11 or something like that. And the big part of that was they were able to get Ben Davis in foul trouble early. They were able to get DeJuan in foul trouble early, and that's kind of success, And I think if you're Center Grove, you got to get the ball to Trace Jackson Davis. You got to establish him early, and I think you can't go away from him, And if that happens, I'll be very interested to see the DeJuan Trace matchup if both of those guys are getting the ball off.
What are some of the other big matchups we have coming up in the semi-state round of the IHSA tournament?
Up north in the 3A classification, you have Culver Academy versus Jalen Blackman and Marion, and obviously Trey Galloway from Culver Academy. That figures to be a very interesting game. Culver, obviously one of the favorites up north, will be playing a Marion team that knows how to put up some points, and that should be an interesting game there. And in 3A South, you have Silver Creek, and I can't think of who they're playing right now for some reason, but Silver Creek will be in the Seymour semi-state. I saw them this past weekend. They have a player a sophomore in that talented class. His name is Trey Coughlin. Very, very skilled, 6'8", great touch. He's still kind of growing into his body, but he figures to be a really nice player in time.
Oh yeah, Silver Creek, a good team. They're one of the favorites to win the state championship.
Yeah, they have a lot of depth. They have a lot of guys that can spray it once they get it going, and they once they put that pressure on teams, they can get out and run, and that's when they're at their best, when they're getting out and running, moving the basketball, and getting transition threes, and that was definitely on full display this weekend.
Also, big news coming on Friday is Keon Brooks. His commitment announcement happens Friday. It's coming down to what seems to be an Indiana-Kentucky decision for him.
Yeah, Michigan State taking the Marble kid. It's unlikely that they will also, take Keon. I'm never going to say never because, something can always happen that's, crazy, so to speak. But it surely appears to be Kentucky versus Indiana, and, it's a good old-fashioned rivalry and two teams that are, like I said, rivals that are battling it out for a recruit. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in this next week. Keon has not made a decision yet, and he's obviously working through some things. And I think we're going to learn a lot this week about what's going to happen down the stretch of this recruitment.
Yeah, most people have switched their selection to Kentucky for him. I know that I think that the Urals board has made that switch as well. I still think I'm going with Indiana. I think that he's going to stick with Trace Jackson. The instant playing time, he will probably start at Indiana. That will not happen at Kentucky, and so that's just my prediction. I still think that Keon picks Indiana.
Right. Like you said, all of the opportunity shots available at Indiana they have to look, pretty appealing. But I still think at this point I would lean a little bit towards Kentucky until I hear elsewhere or hear otherwise. I would lean towards Kentucky, but obviously and not obviously. I'm not obviously real confident about that, but we'll see. I just think some new developments could occur this week, but it's gonna be interesting. I think so.
We'll certainly find out. Yesterday in attendance at the Indiana game, Christian Lander was there along with Armand Franklin, a commitment. But Christian Lander, of course, a 5-star recruit out of Evansville Rights, was in attendance. I didn't know he was there till after the game, but that's a great sign for Indiana. Obviously, that Christian is he's being recruited by everybody.
Yeah, he's a 5-star point guard with a lot of skill, a lot of ability, and athleticism. He's a player that figures to be very good in time, and Indiana's obviously done about everything they can to ensure that they can get early work done here with Christian, and they build a good relationship and whatnot. And this is a guy that I think you're going to see Indiana can be their next main priority in the recruiting game, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in his recruitment over the next few years, and it's also very interesting to see his development with all the tools he has at his disposal.
Absolutely, a lot going on. And what games are you heading to this weekend?
Right now, at this point, I'm leaning towards Center Grove and Ben Davis to see the DeJuan Trace matchup.
A big one, a big matchup, and then, of course, leading up to that, the Big Ten tournament going on as well. That starts on Thursday. So we'll look forward to that. Look forward to talking to you on Friday and prepping for the big announcement from Keon Brooks. That's what everyone will be waiting on next after. So a lot of excitement. Do you think, and I know I've asked this question to a lot of people, but do you think that what Indiana does, for the people that think that he's going to select Kentucky, is there anything that Indiana can do on the court or this season that would alter that?
I don't think that really matters a lot right now. In recruiting, I think the biggest important thing is, recency bias and what happens on the court. When in all reality, a lot of recruits really don't watch games. They may see the score or whatnot, but they're not watching the game to see what happened. And I really just don't think that is that big of a factor.
That I'm confused on what the factor is that it has changed things, because Indiana was playing bad. When they were playing well, everyone thought that he was going to Indiana. Then when they went through the losing streak, then it changed.
Right. But at the same time, you saw that there's other factors that are very big. A lot of kids look at things that it's going to be different when they're there. The players are probably going to be different. System could even be different depending on the team they have. And, they look at it, from that perspective of what benefits them, what the fit's going to be like. Do they think it's somewhere that's going to be best for their development?
Don't they?
Things like that.
But doesn't Kentucky already have either signed or commitment players in his position, at his position?
Yeah, they have one wing signed, or not actually technically signed, but a commit right now until he signs. But it's Khalil Whitney from Chicago, a top 50 guy that is a really nice player, actually.
Well, we'll certainly find out when the announcement comes on a Friday. No doubt about that. But that's when we'll find we don't have to wait anymore, so we'll just have to wait for the announcement. But we'll certainly find out. Drew, thank you, sir. Look forward to it. We'll talk again on Friday, and the Big Ten tournament will have started by then. We'll know what Indiana is doing, and we'll have a better layout.
For sure, man. And I look forward to talking to you on Friday.
Sounds good. Drew Davis, a friend from Peegs.com, brought to you by our friends at Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg, serving Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Jay and Roger Reynolds serve your family as they've done so well. Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. We've got a lot more coming up on the program today. Don't leave us. Don Fisher's going to join us in our next segment. We'll talk to Don, of course, about Indiana's performance yesterday, Jawan's performance yesterday, and, of course, what to expect at the Big Ten tournament for Indiana as that begins on Thursday for the Hoosiers at 12:30, and you can hear that right here. You don't have to go anywhere. The game starts at 12:30. Obviously, pregame will start at 11:30. That's Eastern time. Central time is 10:30, obviously, for that. Tonight, Archie Radio happens right here. Don Fisher and Archie coming to you from the Holiday Inn in Bloomington. You can catch that at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. So make sure you just keep it tuned right here. You don't have to go anywhere. But we've got lots more coming back. Don Fisher joins us. Stay tuned right after this.
Playing bad. It ain't what they call rock and roll.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
This is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat.
And I'm Justin Kalen with Indiana Sports Beat.
Justin, what's your favorite show?
It's got to be Indiana Sports Beat, but I'm not ever sure where to find it.
Well, you can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for each and every day. Or, of course, on Big X Sports Radio, 1450, 96.1 WXVW in Southern Indiana, and 97.7 The Ref in Evansville.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become one in a million.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Today's guest is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, with hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer. Pizza, burgers, beer. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville.
Hey, welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat. Thanks a lot for joining us. Joined now by the great Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. Don, it is always great talking to you, but it's always much funner after a big win by Indiana. And yesterday was pretty big as the Hoosiers are now on a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, they've turned it around, which is kind of astounding when you consider that they were in a stroke of 12 of 13 losses. 12 losses in 13 games back 4 games ago, and it was just it's been an astounding turnaround. It just really has, and it all stems, I think, from the fact that this team, whatever issues they were having after the Minnesota ball game got aired out, and the next thing you know, this team is looking like they did back in November and December and playing like that, and all of a sudden they've won 4 straight, and now they put themselves in position to essentially, if they have any kind of a run at all in the Big Ten tournament, they're back in the NCAA.
Yeah, it's crazy. You could cut that center section of that 12 of 13 losses out, and it almost fits right in. They have picked right up from where they were at the beginning of the good stage, and they are just elevated that, and their play right now is pretty incredible. And I asked Archie yesterday, because the turnovers is what's mind-boggling. They had as many as 17 in a game, and then here of late they've had 3 straight games with a half of just 2 turnovers and a half. It's incredible
Right.
how they're playing so well.
Yep, and a big part of that, I think, and more than anything, has been due to the improvement of Rob Phinisee coming back after the concussion, and it took him a while to really find his game again, but his absence for almost a month I think really hurt this basketball team because of the concussion protocol that he was in, and then it took him a while to really kind of get the feel again once he got back into playing the game, because he wasn't as effective when he first came back in the first 2 or 3 games back either. But his presence out there has made a big difference. I think the other guy that has been, from a guard perspective, that has really made a difference has been Devontae Green. He has kind of picked up the pieces, so to speak, and started playing the kind of basketball he's capable of, and not making those kind of mistakes. Because when you talk about turnovers and how dramatically they've cut down, he and Justin Smith, Devontae and Justin Smith, were the 2 guys that were really struggling with that turnover issue more than any others. Devontae primarily because he was struggling with his decision making. And Justin, I'm not quite sure what his issues were, but he was turning it over a bunch too. And both of those guys have come back and started to play their best basketball of the season. So there's a lot of reasons why this team struggled during that period of time, not the least of which were all the injury issues that they dealt with earlier in the season. to get Deron Davis back, get him healthy again and contributing on a consistent basis. And of course, as we said, the concussion protocol for Rob Finney. Devontae Green, of course, sat out 3 ball games through a suspension. All of these issues that were going on during that 12 of 13 stretch really had major problems, or gave this team major problems. And since they've come back after the Minnesota game, which was a debacle in itself, this team has just not played the same. They've just played with more confidence. They've played looser. The offense that has been such a problem all season long has suddenly found itself a little bit. They're able to knock down some shots. The confidence level of this team is back to where it was back in November, December. And I just think Archie Miller has done a remarkable job of finding a way to get this thing turned.
I'm amazed at how good of how much better of a coach he is with healthy players. I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. It's funny how healthy players can make you so much a better coach. But, yeah, they have really been doing well. And you mentioned Devontae Green. The guard play has been unbelievable. With Rob coming back, you could tell he was still foggy. And Devontae, he not just the other thing, he's scoring the ball as well, too. And he's not doing it outside. He's not doing crazy things. He's pretty much staying within the framework of the team. But he's scoring the ball pretty well these last few games.
Well, there's no question, and that was been a big issue all season long too, in the sense that DeMonte's decision making at times is just, you sit there and you shake your head, and because he's a junior, he knows better, but he's always been that kind of that wild hair type guy that could go out there and make a crazy shot and then take one at some point where it was absolutely the worst time of the game to take one like that, and can destroy a lot of the things that you had worked up to that point to build. So, but he's gotten back to the point where he is now playing his best basketball of the season. It's kind of the same thing we saw last year from DeMonte. There was a stretch of 5 or 6 ball games late in the year where he played as well as he'd played in his career. And this, we're talking last year now, and then all of a sudden he kind of went haywire again, and then Archie ended up sitting down the last 3 or 4 games of the season. He just wasn't contributing like he had previously, and he went away. But hopefully this is not the case this year, because at this juncture they really need him to be a factor and help this team, and he's done that here of late. Hopefully it continues through the rest of this season.
And there's no way you can not talk about the performance of Juwan Morgan. Not only did he have just a killer day to go out on, if you're going to have a senior day, man, did he have one. But he did it all in 22 minutes with foul trouble. So he could have probably scored 40 points yesterday had he not been saddled with those fouls.
Well, you're just seeing the guy that he has been the entire time he's been in Indiana. Even back in his freshman season when he was going down with shoulder problems on almost a consistent basis, getting back up a day later, he'd be back in practice. 2 days later, he'd be playing in a game. And even though he wasn't playing the major minutes that he is now, he contributed almost from the very beginning of his career, despite the fact that he was dealing with separation of his shoulder and had to have surgery after that freshman season. His sophomore year, he had to battle through ankle injuries and several other problems. And still, he was a contributor almost every time he came out on the floor. He did really good things. And then last year, he just basically took over. He started playing his best basketball of his career. He was healthy again. He fought through the issues of not winning as consistently. That team didn't win as consistently as he would have liked, and that ball club struggled with kind of the same issues that this team has had this year. And from an offensive standpoint, nobody was a consistent three-point scorer, even though you had guys that could knock down threes in that ball club. But they were still learning the new system and all those kinds of things, so you had to fight through that. And then, of course, this year, he's just been spectacular. And even though he went through a little slump of his own, from a scoring perspective, he continued to do things that helped this team. Obviously, tremendous at the rebounding end. He started blocking shots. He's a terrific assist guy. I can't say enough about Juwan Morgan. He, to me, epitomizes what an Indiana basketball player should be. Unselfish, a guy that cares more about team than he does about himself. And then, of course, he contributes in virtually every way on the floor. He has been a model for Indiana University basketball players in this modern era, in my opinion.
And he quietly has become one of the best ever for Indiana all time. He's in the top 30 scoring, top 15 rebounds, top 15 in blocks. He quietly amassed some big numbers.
Absolutely, and like I say, I mean it is about the whole picture when you talk about Juwan Morgan. He's a great kid. His teammates love him. He's one of those guys that leads by example. He's not the most verbal guy out there, and he's the first to tell you that. But he is just a terrific person on top of being a terrific basketball player. I can't foresee what his future is in the NBA because I'm not gifted in that department. I've had guys all along were great college basketball players that went on and didn't do much in the NBA. But from my perspective, he's the kind of guy that any coach in the NBA or any of these guys that play in the NBA would want on his team. He's that jack of all trades, master of none type player. He's kind of a undersized guy when it comes to post play, and yet he finds a way to get it done. He's just a terrific talent. I wish him nothing but the best, but right now I want his best to be out there for Indiana right now the rest of the season because they're going to need him in the Big Ten tournament, no doubt.
Absolutely, and that gets underway on Thursday for the Hoosiers as they will take on Ohio State at 12:30. Of course, you can hear Don on the call right here on that day at 12:30 Eastern Time. And tonight, you're with Archie at the Holiday Inn in Bloomington, of course, for the Coaches Show.
Yep, final show of the year with Coach Miller. This will be our 15th show of the season, which is the number that we always have throughout the year. And I just think Archie Miller has done a terrific job with this basketball team. I even think that he's changed what he has done from a coaching perspective a little bit here late in the season. And it's hard to quantify. It's hard to really pick up on it unless you're around all the time. But I've seen a change in him as well. And not necessarily what they're trying to do from an X and O standpoint or anything like that, just in kind of the way he's handling players, that kind of thing. And I really think this guy is a terrific basketball coach. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think he's had to live with some problems with this ball club through his first 2 years now, but he's made adjustments. And you don't make the changes that Indiana's made, whatever they may be or however small or microscopic they might be, here at the end of the season and turn it around like this if you don't know what you're doing as a basketball coach. And I know people out there criticize and all those kinds of things. I don't look at chat room boards. I don't look at any of that stuff. So I don't hear nearly as much of it as you guys might because I know a lot of you are on the social media.
You're better off, Don. You're way better off doing that.
Trust me, I know that. That's why I'm not on them. That's why I don't look at them. But I know what this guy can do as a basketball coach, and whatever criticism they're making out there in that regard just shows you that a lot of them have never coached or played the game.
Absolutely, because he has done. That's why the joke was he's such a better coach with healthy players. It's done a remarkable job. But Don, I can't thank you enough. And look, make sure everyone tunes in tonight to catch Don and Coach at the Holiday Inn for the Coaches Show. And thank you so much, Don. Look forward to it. Good luck at the Big Ten tournament on Thursday.
Yep. We'll look forward to telling you about a really great tournament run next Monday, hopefully.
That would be great, Don. Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend or a great week.
Thanks. See ya.
Don Fisher, the voice of the Indiana Hoosiers, joins us as always. Appreciate him joining us. Great show today. We'll be back tomorrow with plenty more, of course. Chronic Hoosier joins us. Mike Schumann from the Daily Hoosier tomorrow as well. We'll hear more from Archie and the guys as Indiana heads to the Big Ten tournament Thursday at 12:30, so we'll look forward to that as well. Thanks a lot for joining us. Go out and have a great day yourself. For Justin Kalen, I'm Jim Coyle, and I will see you on the radio.